Welcome to the Life of Hair. My name's James Atkinson. Thank you for joining me in this week's episode. Now, this week's episode is an excerpt taken from the recent Patreon live session that I did, where we talked about taking away the dependencies from colour brands and really getting you to understand exactly what colour is. Now, if you want the meat and bones of this video, or the tofu and rice if you're a vegan, then you can head over to Patreon and join from as little as $4 a month, where you will gain access to live sessions all about colour theory. You will gain access to sessions all about cutting theory, and we will do live where you can ask all of those burning questions that you don't want to ask your colleagues for fear of looking silly. There is no such thing as a silly question at the Life of Hair. Every question has a valid point and answer. Now, you can also upgrade to the All Access Patreon, where we will take those theoretical tips, tricks and questions and put them into real life scenarios in other live events on there. So 2 lives a month for the All Access Patreons. Thank you to everybody who has joined the Patreon. I am overwhelmed by the support so far, 33 in total, and you guys rock. Thank you for supporting this channel on the journey to bringing you the most comprehensive, easy to follow tips and tricks to bring your hairdressing to the highest possible level behind the chair. This episode, as I said, is just the excerpt, just a small part of what was a half-an-hour tutorial all about colour theory. We will be following on from that very, very soon and taking that information and really making it all about how you can use it in the salon yourself. Now, however, if you don't want to be part of the Patreon, that's cool. I thank everybody for their support, commenting, liking, watching the videos in general. You guys are rocking it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. It means so much to me when people leave me comments and tell me whether they've liked, disliked, they've got questions. I really do want to help you all grow behind the chair. And I'm always amazed at all the non-hairdressers who seem to enjoy watching the channel. So you guys are super cool too. I won't go on any more about this particular episode. I just want you guys to have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay sane, and don't forget, if you've enjoyed this, share it with your friends, hit that thumbs up button, smash that subscribe button, and comment down below. It makes such a big difference to the channel. Your support is what's growing this channel, and it is growing so rapidly at the moment. So I thank you so much. See you all soon. I love geeking out on colour. I am like turbo geek when it comes to colour. And I think it's really, kind of important that we acknowledge, isn't it, that basically we're like pure colorists in a lot of ways. What we do on a day-to-day basis is, we are color specialists. But we get lost in the fact that it's actually just color, like paint or ink. We get caught up in these brands, giving them numbers, etc. And it's very clever of the brands to do this, but it's no good, because when we go to look at other colours, we don't truly understand exactly what we are doing. So let's have a little look at what's called complementary colours. Complementary colours are colours that neutralise each other. And when they neutralise each other, they end up with a N, a neutral colour, which is in the middle. Now, that neutral colour spectrum wavers backwards and forwards, dependent on how much we neutralise. So for instance, we know that opposite violet is yellow, and that means the complementary colour in the middle, the complementary colour to violet is yellow, and that will neutralise, and it will take away any unwanted yellow in the hair. The same goes with paint. So if we've got yellow paint and violet paint and we mixed it together, we'd get beige, or some version of beige. So that's a very kind of straightforward notion, one that we're probably all kind of used to because we've been neutralising yellow blonde, if you like. So this colour spectrum that you see before you, and everyone will get this emailed to them over the next few days. In fact, I'll also post it in the Facebook group. The way that this colour wheel works is that the darkest pigment is 1, blue. This is the deepest, darkest colour that we are all aware of. So you can, in some brands, you'll have level 1 hair colour with a blue tinge. And that will be the deepest, darkest pigment. And that is why it lives all the way around here. Then we've got violet all the way around here, which is obviously a mixture of red and blue. Because we've got the darkest pigment here mixed with the red, which lives right in the middle of the chart, we end up with a level 3 colour. So we can always make these colours lighter. We'll talk about that in another session, I think. Dilution of colours. Then we have the orange, which is obviously a mixture of the red and the yellow, living up at 7. So that gives us a good indication of exactly, without even looking at the level, if we can see what colour we've got right in front of us, we can determine exactly what colour we're going to. What does this mean from a day-to-day basis? The problem with this is it's too simple, okay? It needs to be way more in depth. We discovered that yellow is neutralised by violet. We don't always get a level 9 or a level 10 lift. It's not reasonable to suggest that every single time we do a colour that we're going to get exactly that colour. And there's too much room in between 9 and 8 for us to acknowledge that this is just a definite shade, if you will, in a colour chart. Oh, it's a 9, it's an 8. No, it's not. It's more than likely somewhere in between the two. And how do we determine what shade it is? We determine what shade it is by what colour we see. If we are seeing yellow-orange, then we know that it is actually not a 9, it's not a 10, it's not an 8, it's 8/9. And that we need to neutralise with violet blue. Now we can't just neutralise with blue. And the main reason for that is because we will get a green end result. We will get a very sludgy green result. Why is that? Because when we mix blue with yellow, we get green. So I hope you could see how that might play out in salon life, and it might explain why you might have got some blonde green colours in the past, especially around the level 8 scenario where you've got some orange present but there's definitely some yellow, and you know, as you saw, that not every colour, we can't determine every colour as one shade or another. There's a massive spectrum of colours, of shades that sit in between all of those colours, and we need to be able to work out exactly what we're seeing to be able to neutralise with the correct shade. So there's a lot more to it than meets the eye in terms of picking a colour, especially when we're toning. And the more accurately we can determine exactly what colour we need, the better our colour results are going to be, without a doubt. So if you want more context, as I said, this is over on the Patreon channel. I won't keep going on about the Patreon channel. It's just I'm really pumped to really help people, really kind of engage with people on a level where they can ask questions that are much more long-winded than it is possible to answer over on here, YouTube. You know, the comment section gets really foggy at times, and it's hard for me to have those back and forward conversations, because YouTube doesn't really allow that kind of back and forth conversation. They do a little bit, but they don't make it very easy. And I'm just, yeah, like I said, I'm super pumped and excited to be helping people with their journeys as hairdressers. So if some of that information was interesting to you, and you had a few aha moments and you want to know more, then please do get in touch and I would be happy to help you. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you all again for another episode of The Life of Hair.